셋, 별. everybody, what's going on? It's me, we're back. And I actually think that there's a lag on my webcam, I have no idea. Story of my life. We're just gonna put up with it. We're just gonna have to put up with it because it is what it is. I'm looking into new PCs, so no, maybe my fiance will build me one because he's so sweet, you know, to cut costs and everything, but Rika says, still no, you suck. Yeah, I actually haven't looked at my OBS in a couple of weeks. I think the last time I was like messing with it, I kind of removed a lot of features, seeing if that's gonna help at all. I even got my speaker here. We're gonna play music from my phone, which means that I also can't check the chat frequently. So if I'm missing the chat, just try sending it again. And if I'm not responding to stuff, then it's because I literally, like the app's just not showing it to me, or because the lag is just going too slow that I just gave up checking. So it's gonna be like a chill, like, let's just draw pictures today. A little bit, but not horrible. Okay, well, that's something. So just, yeah, bear with me. We're just gonna draw pictures. Remember, if you want to support me, you can always send a tip on Ko-fi, and that way I'll read it for sure. Actually, the bot, the TTS, will read it technically. Hi, Dark Eagle, how are you doing? Which is really great. We recently reached the, thank you, Aura, for the 8 bits. Really appreciate it. I can still see it because I have the app open right now. What was I saying? Yeah, so we just recently reached our Ko-fi goal, which is great. The majority was actually fulfilled by Kayla, so when she gets here, if she gets here, big shout out to Kayla. We're going to finish that Yami sketch. We're gonna render it of me and the Pharaoh, so that's gonna be nice. Yeah, and as soon as I have the chance, I'll update it to go back to the goal that we were in the middle of in August for a new monitor, which I'm going to need now if I'm gonna be getting a new PC. So, yeah, so I'm just gonna shut the music from my computer so that it helps the lag. Alrighty. Rika says, that's fine, I'm gonna be drawing too. Wonderful, perfect. We'll just all draw together. So let me just pull up my playlist and get music going in my poor way. My laggy way. So let me just grab that. You know, because we're on my phone, we suffer from the lag. I mean, from the ads. Give me a moment. Today, please. Okay, we got another one. All right. I didn't even check. Do I look bad? I didn't even check if I look decent. I'm all over the place. Okay, let's go. Music. We got music. You look beautiful. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. That's sweet. Also, look what I got. Actually, it's really funny. I was, look, I totally burnt this one out. It was a little, little mermaid mug, and I burnt it out because I want to use the cup. But I wasn't really that happy with the ring that I got out of it. Do you guys know Charmed Aroma? It's freaking great. I love it. But this one's not Charmed Aroma. It's just a Vanilla Bean Noel. It's a Christmassy vanilla candle. And I'm for it because I'm obsessed with candles. I burn them every single day. So we're gonna just... boom. Co's City. Alright. It's like popping over there. Take it easy. Just waiting for it to settle. The flames to settle. Give me a moment. Cool it. Let's not start a fire on stream, okay? Okay? They're starting to settle. All right. You look amazing, MJ, as always. Thank you, Dark Eagle. That's so sweet. Aura says, that's such a perfect mug for you. Honestly, yeah. But I'm not going to use it as a mug because these like are always such a pain to drink from. You know, like when they like kind of concave in, like I just hate it. I actually want to use them to hold my my toothbrushes because I saw it and I was just like, candle, jewelry, toothbrush holder. It's 3-in-1 purchase. I got that ages ago. I just never got around to burning it, and it's finally burnt up. So yeah. So today we are gonna do the flats because, you know, flat coloring is the most I can do with the lag these days. Also, is music too low? Let me put it louder. Is that better? I want to jam to it too, you know. Okay. So this commission is of me and Sarah and our Mersonas. They're called Mersonas. Mermaiding is becoming so many. It has become pretty mainstream in our world. So it's interesting. What's it called? And Sarah's great. You know, she commissions me pretty consistently, so she's a great supporter. And so she asked if it would be cool if she could draw us with our little cats. So I was like, hell yeah. You want to pay me to draw not just mermaids, but one of those mermaids happens to be me, and then you want me to draw cute little kitties, and 2 of those kitties happen to be my little kitties? Yeah, of course, you can guarantee that I'll be cool with it. Hey, Kayla's in chat! Or it says you can set up TTS to read highlighted messages. Yeah, I know. But I'm kind of pissed off at OBS. I'm mad that I can't have a smooth stream, so I'll worry about like the fun features like when I upgrade, which is going to be hard considering I'm still paying for Luna's medical bills. Like the little baby isn't even with us anymore, and she's still causing me grief. She's still causing me grief. Hi Kimmy. Kimmy's in chat too. How are you? Kimmy's so sweet. Let's give a shout out to Kimmy. Which, how do I do that again? It's been like weeks. Forgot. Wait, shout out. Come on. Shout out. Kimmy. There we go. Yeah, so Kayla, we were just talking about you. Or I was talking about you. Because I love you. And, oh, oops, sorry. And because Kayla just recently helped us complete the goal, she actually funded the majority of it, which is really nice. So we're going to be working on that Yami and MJ drawing. I'm gonna have a fun time. I'm gonna take some time off work to do it, and it's gonna be great. And I'm gonna do the best job that I can, and it's gonna be lovely. And thank you, Kayla. You're the best. Okay, now let me remind myself where I was. Okay, so that's my layer. That's the background. Okay, let's do Aurora first. Aurora is the name of Sarah's Mersona on the left. So I've got her color references in front of me. It's kind of cute. She has a much pinker skin tone than I do. My skin tone, which reminds me, you know, like I just recently learned about like undertones and stuff because like I really suck with makeup and I want to learn because I never like got into it, and I was just like, I never got into it because I'm just like, I've been with the same guy since I was 14 years old, and like we care about each other, so like appearance isn't something that we really had to work for since we found our mates so early. But you know, now that I'm streaming, I'm just like, I should probably care about how like I present myself. Not look like the stereotype artist that like dwells in their hermit shells. So I was trying to like learn about makeup, and I learned about undertones, and now there's like this whole thing about like how to find the right colors, and I was just like, there's like a whole science behind this, which I guess I should have known because like the makeup community is so big. Like I always hear about like I always see them in the corners of the internet recommended to me. But like there's just so much to learn. I'm just like, man, I don't have time for this. Can someone just send me like a makeup cheat sheet on how this stuff works? Anyways, I'm talking too much again. Let's jump in. Why did my music stop? Oh, got it. Okay, so we're going to... And the lag is indeed still present, so I made a good call to not draw today. Or not draw on stream today. Just flats. We're gonna do the flats. Maybe if it's not so bad, I can do like, I can start doing some shading, but nothing, I'm not gonna strain myself because like I've been putting up with the lag ever since I started streaming, like almost a year ago. And like I would tolerate it because I really like talking to you guys and it's fun, and I draw so much all the time and I'm like, why not stream it? Like I may as well, you know? So, but it's been so frustrating. I think like of every stream that I've done, I think I had like, I think I could count on one hand the amount of streams that I had without lag. And it's just like, yeah. So I was looking into new PCs and my fiance, he is the absolute best. He's been teaching himself and getting into the whole custom PC build thing. Because, you know, like I said, money-wise, Luna is sucking me dry from the other side. So I'm just like, wherever we can cut costs, I will. And if I'm, you know, that's why he's a sweetie. He's just like, I'll, you don't worry about the research. I'll look into it and I'll see what we can do in terms of custom builds. And I was just like, this is why I love you. Not because he does things for me, because he's just so sweet and helpful, and I love everything about him. Alright, let me peek into chat if it lets me. Remember, the ad is buggy, so if I don't see your thing and you want me to respond to it, just send it again, and then if it still doesn't work, either give up or send it via Ko-fi so the TTS could read it for you. Oh, Rika, thank you. She says that Aura's face is so pretty. Well, Aura is... I mean, I said Aura. Aurora, her face is so pretty. I have to agree. She's a pretty model, so it was very easy to draw a pretty face. But yeah, I love streaming. It's fun. But it does slow me down. Like I almost, like if you look at the screen, I don't know if it'll show up on the stream because sometimes you can't even tell on stream that it's lagging. It's only from my experience. But look when I like draw super quickly. See, like you guys probably can't even see it. It like, see, and I have to wait for it to catch up. It kind of like, you know when it drags? And then because of the drag, like sometimes it, just to catch up to where you are, it will like skip steps. So if I do like a Z really fast, sometimes it'll lag and it'll just like do a straight line just to catch up where my mouse is gone. So weird, man. And so annoying. So I'm just, you know, filling in the colors, talking to you or myself. You know, if you guys don't want to hear about makeup, then I guess I'm talking to myself. But how's your weekend? Do you guys have any Christmas plans? I'm trying to think of anything like fun or new that happened. Oh, by the way, Rika in chat is a new patron of ours. Welcome, Rika. I'm mentioning that because, you know, it's a really good time to join Silverport Studios on Patreon because we're launching our comic soon. Finally, for real this time. Okay, it's happening. I'm excited. It's gonna be great because I've missed it so much, and it's been a joy posting episodes early on Patreon, and I can't wait for everybody else to see too. There we go. And then my skin tone is more like this. It's more of a, not yellow, but like less saturated, less pink, less bright. So let me go to my folder. Okay, let me catch up real quick. I see some chatting. Rika's fangirling about the commission I did of her OC, which was really fun. Thank you, Rika. And I think it really did turn out good, actually. But if I do say so myself, I'm kind of biased, right? He's so good. He's staring at it daily with the magic in his hand and his eyes. Just, oh my lord, I'm so glad, Rika. She got it done on a pin as well on Redbubble, which was cool. We're gonna have a baby shower for my sister next Saturday. Oh, congratulations to your sister. That's wonderful. Hi, Corky. Hello, welcome. How are you doing? I'm good. Tolerating a laggy stream as usual, but still, missing being here. Rika says, yes, I have joined Patreon. It's so easy too. Didn't have to think about it with my small brain. Yeah, look, that kind of sounds like a sponsorship ad, doesn't it? Like when people like on YouTube when they get sponsored and they're like they put when they're plugging it in, they put in that ease thing. Like it's so easy because I don't know why I'm mentioning that. It just reminded me of it. It's funny. I'm doing well, waiting for the season, even in Fortnite, to watch MJ stream. Well, Dark Eagle, I'm glad that I'm your background noise. That makes me happy because I feel like, art streams, like it's kind of difficult to make an art stream like really entertaining to like watch. Like nobody, at least I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but nobody sits down with a bag of chips and watches an art stream, Like, that's weird. I mean, if it is, if you do that, that's awesome. That's cool. But to me, that seems like an odd thing to do. I wouldn't do it because I can't sit still to save my life. Like, I have things like this laying around so that, so when my fiance's telling me a story and I'm not rude, grabbing things, distracting myself, so I just grab this and listen. So my hands are occupied. What's it called? So I couldn't do it, but so when people are telling me that they have me in the background while doing something else, it makes me happy because that means that people are still engaging in there with me, despite it being an art stream, because they're slow and like, look, I get it, they're not peak entertainment, but their background noise. It's almost like a podcast thing where you can occasionally peek and see like how the art's coming out, That's how I look at it. Unless we're doing like an unboxing or a challenge or something. Like last time when Kayla triggered my my drawing challenge where I had to draw the pharaoh as fast as I could. Breaking record, 12 minutes, laggy stream. I almost kind of feel like Miguel and Tulio from El Dorado, when they're walking around, they're just like, what? I made that volcano erupt. It's like, no, you didn't. That's kind of like me right now. That's the mood I had when I finished it. I was just like, yeah, that's my boyfriend. Only I can draw him like that quickly, with a disability. Okay, we had a handicap on our team. And it wasn't even just a portrait either. Okay, now I'm just bragging. I have to teach myself how to draw marks in the sand later when I'm doing the backgrounds. Like because I don't want to just draw with line art, like the lines in the sand. Like I actually want to make it look like the effect of the finger imprint in the sand. And I'm just like, how you do that? I don't know. I'll have to figure it out later. Okay, we've got skin tones in there. I'll go with hair. I haven't even decided yet, like, what the light color of the light source is. Like, it doesn't matter. We're just doing plots right now, right? Right, here. Let me tune in on the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. Chips sounds good. I love chips. You know, chips is my favorite junk food. It's a weakness. Dude, what's everyone's favorite chip? Oh, snap. Favorite chip? I really like salt and vinegar. Mrs. Vicky's salt and vinegar. I like those. And I like sweet chili heat from Doritos. And all dressed Ruffles. I think those are my favorites. I think I'll go with those. I'm playing Dreamlight Valley and watching you. Oh, cool! I'm your background noise to a video game. That's cozy. I hope you're kicking butt, Corky. Doritos man myself. Anything with cheese, I shall devour it. Yes, cheese heads. We are cheese kings in here. I love cheese. My fiance actually thinks I have a problem when it comes to cheese. Because he's like, I like cheese, but like, how do you just put cheese on everything? I'm like, everything. Put a slice of cheese on my steak and it makes it better. I love everything about cheese. Really plain Lay's with onion dip. Oh, if we're gonna talk about dip, I like salsa dip, like with plain chips, like so good. The salsa. I devour the jar of salsa. Corky says, dude, so I can't wait to pay MJ to draw me. Oh, she makes such pretty mermaid artwork. All her artwork is pretty. Oh, that's so cute. That's so sweet. Thank you, Corky. I can't wait myself, honestly. I have such a mermaid portfolio. I need to make like a video showcasing like all the mermaids that I've drawn over the years. And it's really cool, and it's exciting too. Like, it totally happened by accident. I happened to draw mermaids for fun, and people liked it, and the train just started rolling. Like, you know how amazing little me as a kid, like, if you told her, like, yeah, you know, when you're, you know, in 10 years from now, you're gonna, like, people are gonna pay you to draw mermaids. I would have stars in my eyes. I'd be like, really? I'd be like, are you serious? I'd be like, yeah. Ketchup chips, you know, not my favorite, but also fun. I used to like them as a kid a lot. Sun chips too. These are all classic, like, elementary school chips. Everything totally needs cheese and bacon. Yeah, see, Kayla gets it. Cheese and bacon. Though I'm a bigger cheese head than a bacon head, bacon is still wonderful. Did I catch up? The app isn't very nice to me. It like removes things. Give me cheese and bacon. I'm making. Onion dip is best. Onion dip is good. So few people draw mermaids well. Do you think? I mean, the thing is with me and like the artists I follow, it's actually really goofy. Like, you wouldn't expect it. You would think that my feed is full of like mermaids and sea foam and freaking like hot like anime guys, but honestly it's not. My feed is full of like, you know, hang on a second. Okay. Sorry, what was I saying? Pause before she sees the temp. I wasn't gonna say it, Tim, but that one you can expect is on my feed and absolutely is. Okay. I'll admit that one. But no, my feed is actually full of professional artists from like that work at like DC and stuff. Some artists I really like. Art tips, stuff like that. It's very like very comic heavy, and not like webcomic heavy. I mean like actually like manga and Western comics heavy, because I'm trying to self-brainwash myself into becoming like the masters. I feel like if you consume the same amount of content, you kind of become that, you know, like kind of like manifesting it. So it's like that. Like I have mermaids on my timeline, but they're not like mermaid art. It's just actual mermaids IRL. So I don't actually know that many mermaid artists or people who draw mermaids to say what's good or bad mermaid art, but anyways, having said that, thank you, Corky. That's really nice of you to say that I draw them well. It makes me happy. I mean, I would hope so as the art siren. It would be kind of embarrassing if I was bad at it. Actually, it might be fun. What do you guys like? What does your day in a life Instagram timeline look like? Or it doesn't have to be Instagram. It could be Facebook feed. It could be Twitter feed. Whatever. But like, what's the kind of stuff that you like to see on a regular basis? For me, it's a Tem, professional artists and manga, mermaids. Lots of cat videos. I forgot cats. Cats are so cute. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So Luna here on my shoulder is actually going to be, like I'm gonna render her kind of transparent. I'm gonna do the same with Kitty, that's by my side, because they're not with us. And I thought it would be a nice touch to render them that way. That's why the line art of Luna is kind of like, you know, it's on top of me. She's on a separate layer actually, so where is she? See? Gone. And are you guys excited for Silver Fangs? I'm so excited. I have been working on and thinking about this freaking series since before we announced AC's cancellation. So like, you can imagine, like, y'all think you're tired of waiting? You think you guys are suffering from having to wait to see where this is going? Like, bruh, I've been dying. Which is really funny. You know, every time I got asked with AC, it's like, oh, do you know how do you know what the story is ending? Do you know how long it's gonna be? Blah blah blah. I would always be like, no, I have some ideas of where it's gonna go. I'm just kind of letting the story write itself. Not anymore, guys. Silver Fangs, we have an ending, and we know how it's gonna get there. And it's just like, I shouldn't have done that. We should not, my fiance and I should not have come up with an ending, because now it's even harder not to tell everybody. But it's really, really exciting, and it's good, and I can't wait. How long it's going to be, though, I have no idea. Because in our heads, the story is like, is a certain length and translated a certain way, but like in drawings and like posting once a week, and you know, I'm only one artist, like there's only so much I can do every week, so like I have no idea how long it's gonna be. But it's exciting, and I freaking can't wait. Delete message, this is spam. Oh, are we being rated right now? Who's rating us? Katie just rated us with 5 viewers. Hi! Hello, Katie. Hello, everybody. Welcome. You guys probably know me because we've cross-rated before, but if you don't, I'm Mary Jane the Art Siren, otherwise known as ArtSirenMJ. You can call me MJ. And we draw lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures, and today we're drawing mermaids. Commissioned specifically. Welcome, welcome. We were just talking about our favorite chips, what we find on our Twitter timelines or our social media timelines. And I was just catching up on chat here. I normally have music playing, just give me a second. My stream is notorious for lag, so I'm working on it. We need a new PC. Dark Eagle says, MJ, if you woke up in an anime universe, what would your reaction be? It depends on the universe. Give me deets. Before anyone asks, your husbandos would exist also. Again, depends on the world. Give me the info. Rika says, so not a mermaid, but I know in 14, eventually I'll do an entire fight underwater, and MJ can draw water scenes, so potential commission idea. Actually, speaking of underwater, this is what I'm reading right now. Bam. And honestly, total coincidence that it happens to be underwater stuff. I just happen to really like the artist in this comic, and it's beautiful. Let me show you this really awesome spread. Oh, it's not a spread. It's just one page, but still awesome. Look, I love this. I love this because, wait, can you see it? Okay, it's this one. It's this one. There we go. It's sorry, the camera's reversed on me. So basically, like, I love the long panels so much because they're diving, so it's appropriate, and it's just for like the style is just so good. I'm sorry, this is not the best camera. And it's so good because I can appreciate stuff like this because I also post my comics on as a webcomic. So the vertical thing for the scrolling, it's just, it's so, I want to steal it. I'm going to steal you. I'm going to steal it all. And it's just so great. Like, look at all of the bubbles and stuff. Wait, wrong page. There we go. Like the effects. I'm sorry. I'm fangirling right now. I could literally like do a stream where I'm just like fangirling at like art. Like, look at this. Look at this. I want to steal this. I'm going to take this. Oh, this is good. You know, just go on forever. Let's see. So Dark Eagle says, average new artworks, art made by several different fandoms, custom creation, also comics. People create art. I like that art-filled timeline. Very cool, Dark Eagle. Bookworm says, Instagram is mostly bookish fan art, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon art, some bookish accounts, some friends, some photography. Honestly, I actually follow Bookworm on Twitter, so I'm always seeing everything that she's liking and retweeting. And she's not joking when she calls herself a bookworm. I'll just leave it at that. Loves books. She's always reading books. It's so cute and wholesome. Kayla's so wonderful. Dark Eagle says, I'm very intrigued about what shall happen next. Yes, with Silver Fangs. Everyone's really interested to see the direction of the story. And, yeah, it's exciting. Because like, it's actually good this time. Like, the setup, I think, is really good. Aura says, clouds, I have a lot of wings, fairies and angels, a lot of video games, and girly pastel heavy artwork. Yeah, I like pastels too. Pastels are awesome. Okay, I'm caught up. I think we just arrived at the raid. Dark Eagle says, all right, you wake up in an anime world where they're all combined, so everyone exists there. Okay. But, like, what's the universe... Like, okay, so you described who's there, but what's the universe like? Is it still, like, real world 2022? Or is it, like, a different universe? Like, if it's real world that we are in now, and just a bunch of fictional characters now exist in this real world. I would probably have to get off the internet. I wouldn't want to know. I would not want to know. It's too much. Siren reading Aquaman. Anyone surprised? Coincidence that it, look, you know, I like Green Arrow a lot too. Okay, I have a lot of comics over there, but I just happen to have this one on the desk right now, and I'm lazy. Here, I have this one too. I mentioned Marmalade Boy Little on my newsletter. I'm on volume 6, you see? I'm reading this too, but this is in Japanese, so I've been reading, like, together online with, like, the Spanish version and using Google Translate. That's why you know how long it's been taking me to read this series? It's insane. Because every bubble, I have to be like, on Google, translate. Okay, gotcha. Next, what does he respond with? You know? It's so cute. Like, would I recommend this for the work that you have to do just to read it? No. But, you know, Marmalade Boy, you know, because this is a sequel. Marmalade Boy is one of my favorite manga, just because it's so freaking cute, so I had to. You're such a nerd. Yeah. It's the real world. Okay. So, there, I'm caught up with chat. So, real world, yeah, I would have to stay away from the internet because, me being in the same universe as, the Pharaoh while my husband is still alive, yeah, I don't trust myself, so, get me off the internet, and I tell my husband to shackle me. There we go. I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, you know, I'm not that crazy. Jeez. I wouldn't be at risk of being, like, unfaithful, okay? But, like, why make it difficult on myself? You know? Not that I would be unfaithful, but my thoughts. I'll stop. Dark Eagle, you shouldn't ask me these questions. So, basically, yeah, I wouldn't want any part of that. That's too much. It's too... You know, like, just every fictional character that you like, or that if you think is cool, just happens to exist. Like, just... Look, unless one of them is gonna, like, save the world from all its problems, I'm not interested. Stay away from me! I don't need any more complication in my life, okay? Thank you. Luckily, they are fictional characters, so I don't have to feel guilty for loving on the Pharaoh. So that's cool. But yeah. I just remember, speaking of custom PCs, when my fiance said that he was going to look into customizing it and building one, I was just like, okay, I don't have the patience nor the intelligence to figure that whole thing out. But what I do understand is aesthetics. So I was looking up, like, accessories and, like, fun things to, like, add to custom builds and stuff. And, guys, it's so not fair. Why are all the pink ones more expensive? I'm not even joking. Like, all the black ones and the white ones and the silver ones, it's like they're all, like, consistently priced, and then it's like you run into, like, a pink one or a seafoam one, and it's like 5 times the price, and it's just like, really? Highly doubt it cost any more money to make than, like, your standard black ones. So annoying, but whatever. It's fine, because the PC's going under the table anyway. No one's gonna look at it. It's not like I'm gonna be on stream and, like, go under the table and pull up this big box and be like, guys, look at Seafoam. Actually, you know what? That does sound like me. That does sound like something I would do, but I'm not gonna do it. Not for that much money anyway. Maybe I'll bedazzle it with washi tape or something. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay, my hair is filled in finally. That took way too long. Let's do Aurora's now. Her hair. Yo, who's tooting in chat? I heard it. I heard that shit. Now, Aurora's hair is lighter than mine, so. There we go. Let me check in chat. I'm gonna call on Rico or Dark Eagle. You guys are usually the toot machines. Rika. I'm a Green Lantern fan. Dark Eagle, dang. You know, I actually do, like, it's not that I don't like Green Lantern, but I have zero interest in space stuff. Like, every time I see it, it's just, you know, like, I try to, like, read it, and it's just, it's fine. It's actually really surprising, and, like, yeah, I'm not big on Green Lantern. Even his powers kind of OP, so to me, it's just not that interesting, and aliens, and not for me. The only aliens I will read about are the underwater ones, and then even then, like, they just can't be so many. There's so many in Green Lantern, I just can't get myself to, like, be that into it. But I'm not hating it. I'm not saying that's an objective opinion. That's just me. I just couldn't get into space shit. It's the same reason I never, like, actually seen the Star Wars films. Like, I know of Star Wars. I know all the memes. I've seen clips, and I've seen, like, I know the gist of what Star Wars is, but, like, I never sat down and watched all the movies in full because I'm just like, this is boring. I'm sorry. Can't get into it. Painted seafoam. Well, paint it. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't have the right paints for that, and it's too much effort for under the table, you know what I mean? Thanks for the lurk, you guys, by the way. Dark Eagle says, watch how you speak about Green Lantern. Hey, I'm not dissing. I'm just saying it's not for me. Like, how can you expect a mermaid to have interest in space? Girl has barely explored the surface, and you want her to go up into space, you know? I don't know. Like, that was obviously a joke, but, like, I'm just not... was never really that interested. It also happened to be a total coincidence, but every comic I have, it's like 98% of them is DC, which I found really interesting. I was just like, huh. Because I totally didn't do that on purpose. Like, because my perspective is very different. It's an artist perspective, so I'm always looking for, like, things I can learn from and that look genuinely interesting. And over time, it's just like, oh wow, I clearly happen to like the DC stuff more. Specifically, Aquaman, Green Arrow. I think I have a couple of Wonder Womans. Oh, a lot of Batman. I got a lot of Batmans. Yeah. Manga too. The thing with me in reading comics is that, like, I always, like, neglect it. This is why I have Aquaman right here on the desk, so I don't forget. Because I get caught up in all the work that I have to do that I actually forget to, like, keep my brain fresh and inspired. So I've actually been trying to make an effort to read more lately. So yeah, so I've been reading Bleach. Is there any Bleach fans in chat? Make yourself known. I just got to the part where, what's that guy? Well, it's the war with the Quincy's, and they just defeated that guy, I forgot it, but basically, like, Rukia just used her bunkai, so she was, like, all, like, frosted and white and stuff. So, which I thought was really cool. Because I actually, like, up until recently, I really didn't care for Rukia. It's really crazy. She's so loved in Japan. Like, she's a fan favorite in terms of the readers, but I found her very bland and uninteresting. But since she returned from... What's the place called? It's not heaven, but it's like the place, you know, what's it called? Number 0 with all the... I'm so bad at this. Basically where the... Like the Soul Reaper King guy is, like, you know, like with all, like, where they all get promoted, like the absolute top of Soul Reapers are, like, up there, or Shinigamis, whatever. Like, yeah. Since Rukia came back from there, I've been really liking her. So, I am the worst at explaining things. I am so sorry. It's kind of weird. Like, I read content and it makes sense up here, but then when I talk, I sound like an idiot. Or it says, there was a girl that customized hers with spray paint. Yeah, no. Totally doable. I just don't know if I'm gonna go through like that work because it's gonna be shoved under the desk because I don't need to look at it. Bookworm says, I'm the worst Star Wars fan. I wasn't really into it, but I love Ben and Rey together from the new trilogy. Other than that, I prefer fantasy over sci-fi. Same. I'm more of a fantasy person. Have a few Superman comics and a few classics. Yeah, Superman's not bad either. He's kind of OP though. Again, like I don't like characters that are overpowered. So like when I think of Superman, I always think of like Goku. It's like I'd rather just watch Dragon Ball Z. It's like the same story. It literally is the same story. And when I found that out like a few years ago, I was just like, Dragon Ball Z is just Batman. I mean, it's just Superman. It's like, why didn't I know this? It's actually it's so funny how like similar the characters are. It's like it makes sense to me now why people are always comparing the two. Rika says, so taking Silver Fangs out of the equation, who would you say is your favorite superhero? I wasn't gonna say the hero from Silver Fangs, which you guys still don't know about. Which, when are you guys gonna see this hero? Because the way this, you know what, I'm talking too much. Zip. Not speaking anymore. Batman is pretty broken as a character also. Yes, Batman, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Like, Batman... I don't know. He is, but it's not really... It's not the same. I don't know, I just don't think it counts. Because Batman, like, doesn't... Like, first of all, like, Superman is, like, an alien. Like, he has... And gets powers from the sun. Like, it's just so, like... It's not even the same thing. Like, Batman kind of made his whole... Like, with his wealth and everything. And, you know, and he's kind of, like, not the best guy because he's more of like an anti-hero kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I just like that vibe. I like that it was it's really funny. This has to be a consistent pattern with like characters that I like. There's clearly been, I clearly am very interested in the misunderstood, edgy anti-hero kind of types, you know, as my comic speaks for itself. But yeah, I just don't think Batman's the same thing. So Rika asks who my favorite superhero is. My favorite superhero. You know, it's hard to say. You know, for a lot of years I used to say that Spider-Man was my favorite, but I feel like Spider-Man has just become so saturated with so many different versions, which is really cool, like for like creative wise and for like fans to like pick which one they like. Like, it's really fun, like, oh, what's your favorite Spider-Man, all that stuff, and that's really fun. But to me, as like I said, it's fun for like a reader's perspective, but I'm not just a reader, I'm a creator too. So I feel like from a creator's perspective, it kind of it makes it matter less, if that makes sense. Like with my comic SILVERFANGS, like if I had like 1,000 different versions of Hunter, it's like it doesn't really matter anymore. Like what's the point? Like which one's the real Hunter? It's like, oh, there is no real Hunter because all different versions. It's like, well, then I can't take this seriously. Like I can't commit to this, you know, because like if you don't like one version, it's like, okay, whatever, I'll just go to another version. But like I like to see a character grow and develop, and I like there to be like one. And I know there's different versions with like all the different superheroes, but I just feel like with Spider-Man, because of the Spider-Verse, there's just been so many, so it's kind of become oversaturated and kind of lost its how would you call it? Its flair, I guess. I still think that Tobey makes the best Spider-Man. That's still my favorite, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite anymore. So that rules out Spider-Man. I'm sorry, I get on tangents. I hope that's not boring you guys. But that rules that out. Let's see, what else? You're talking, Rika, your question specifically for Marvel and DC, like Western superheroes, right? I'm assuming manga doesn't count. I like Captain America too. I'm not usually that into Marvel, but Captain America's cool. I like his like old school way of doing things. I've liked Hawkeye a lot more ever since Jeremy Renner has been playing him in the movies and stuff. I really like Jeremy Renner. You know the guy can sing? Did you know that? Mother F has songs, and he's actually quite good, and some of them are pretty good. But I like him, and it's funny because he's in one of my favorite movies of all time, the Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters movie. I love that movie, and he plays Hansel, and I love it. You should go watch it if you're in, but it's a horror film, rated R, just saying, just warning you. It's really good in my opinion. And so Hawkeye's cool, similar to Green. I like Hawkeye and Green Arrow a lot because they also like they don't have any super abilities really. They're just regular people, and that adds like a nice little wholesomeness to it. Man, I wasn't prepared to answer this question, Rika. Man, and you know, it's always Rika. Rika always asks the hard questions. Seriously, I hate you. Yes, Western ones. Okay, I don't know. I guess I'll say... I have to like grab my comics and remind myself of everybody. Oh, you know who I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say Nightwing. Do you know why? Because Nightwing is from Batman, you know, and he's older Robin, and it's cute because Robin, my fiance used to be really into Robin back in high school, so it's nostalgic for me. Two, Nightwing is just, I think the outfit is cooler than Batman, though I like Batman's belt and the cape and everything, but I never liked the bat ears. For me, it's not aesthetically like cool. I think Nightwing is cooler, and Nightwing is famously known for being super hot. So that's fun. Like as you know from SILVERFANGS, my heroes are hot, so there you go, Nightwing. There's your answer. I'm trying to remember what this hero was called, but I was actually reading a comic not that long ago. And there was a character and she was talking to Batman. She was a hero. I think she's like I think she might be a bee. She's either a bee or a spider or something. I'm not sure. And I remember I was reading it and I mentioned to my fiance and I was just like, oh, this, I like this. And I was just showing him stuff that I like or whatever. And he was just like, oh, you know that, that girl, that hero character is not appreciated with the fans anymore. And I said, oh, why not? And apparently he said that I'm gonna say it rhymes with grape, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word because YouTube's usually strict and I'm not as familiar with Twitch, but she did that to Nightwing. I was just like, why didn't I know this? Did you guys know that? That's a thing. And do you know what character I'm talking about? I already forgot who it was. Rika says, oh wait, Dark Eagle says, next Bounty Hunter or Old West Batman. Nice. Rika says, yes, Nightwing, he looks so cool. Granted, all my knowledge is just from my freaking love of Teen Titans, but I remember him. I never seen the Teen Titans. I should, though. But, yeah, my knowledge of him, I actually only have, like, I think 1 or 2 Nightwing comics. I'm not that familiar with him as well, compared to other heroes, but I think, like, aesthetically, I would say he looks the coolest. Okay, so now... the tail... But yeah, my knowledge for comics is quite small. It's still in its infancy. Because like I said, I only really started to properly read. Like, I always consumed content before. You know, like, I watched anime, there was some manga I read. Like, I was, like, into stuff. But I was really more into, like, I was just picky. Like, I just refused. I was very, like, I was somebody that, like, would rarely want to try anything new. I was so stubborn. But, you know, I reached a point in my art where I was just like, I don't think I'm going to be able to learn anything more without reading new things. And that's why a few years ago I started to make an effort to read. My fiance insists that I read One Piece when I finished Bleach. Guys, tell him to stop. Well, when I say he really likes One Piece, I say that, like, loosely because, like, according to him, it hasn't been good for a long time. But, he says that the good parts of One Piece are really, really good and worth reading it for. But 1,000 chapters? Are you freaking kidding me? I'll tell you, if I read One Piece, it's gonna be a chore and I'm gonna complain a lot. I'm not saying I won't do it, but I'm gonna complain a lot. Even when it gets good, I'm gonna be like, wow, this is really interesting, but seriously, I hate that it's so long, like, freaking... Screw, who's the creator again? I already forgot. I'm thinking of all the wrong names. No, that's Dragon Ball Z, no. whatever. Whatever. You get my point. Let me quickly catch up. Mika says, I really want to get into the Teen Titans OG comics, but man, trying to start from the original issue is hard for any comic. Why do you say that? What do you mean? Darkiel says, there's a Batman story that is super controversial. Look up The Killing Joke. Okay. The Killing Joke. I shall remember that. I really like Zoro and Sanji. I see. I like Sanji for his I like his attitude, and they have an art book actually with Sanji's like recipes and stuff. But Aura, I'm pretty like I'm actually surprised to hear that. Like, have you been keeping up with One Piece, like weekly? Like, are you all caught up? Like, how much of One Piece have you read? But Bleach, I'm all for. And I was actually also hesitant to start because of how long it was. But because it was part of the big three for so long. And I actually do remember seeing my siblings watch the anime back in the day. I was just like... I feel like I owed it to myself to read it. So yeah, I'll probably... Look... I'll give One Piece a try, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish that shit, okay? I don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited to finish Bleach, because then when the dub comes out for the anime, I can watch it, because the animation looks really good, and I'm interested to see. I will say, though, that the Quincy's right now in Bleach are kind of, they're kind of dragging on. One thing I noticed about... Okay, Kubo is a genius writer. I will say that. He's really, really good. But there's one thing that he clearly is obsessed with that I couldn't help but notice. And it's starting to get exhausting. He loves to just explain lore. Like, he'll have, like this is happening, especially in the Quincy War. He will have so many characters with like all their powers, and they'll be fighting, and like 90% of the fight, rather than it being combat, it's literally them explaining to each other how their powers work. It's literally like watching a duel from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you know when you're watching the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! And they activate a card and they're like, this card allows me to do A, B, C, D. And the other person will say, yeah, but this card, you know, my counter trap card actually rejects this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like, you're explaining it, and it makes sense because it's like, oh, well, it's the way the card works. It's the function of like, you know, like the chains in the game and everything. But they do the same in Bleach. So like this person will be like, yes, my ability, my bunkai can make me negative whatever degrees, and I'm frozen solid or whatever. And this other guy's like, yeah, well, my power is fear. So it doesn't matter how cold you are. If my attack touches you, then you will be consumed in your fear or whatever. And it's like, well, I am actually unaffected by your fear because I'm not actually alive. It's like, what? How is that so? And then you get like a whole monologue of like why this is. It's like, oh, because for me to be as negative temperature or whatever, for that to even be possible, I actually have to temporarily die. So my body's not actually alive right now. So when your fear touches me, it doesn't work because it can't work on a corpse. A corpse can't feel fear. And it's just like, it's like these tiny technicalities, just like, okay. And then they'll be done, and then we'll move into another fight, and it's just like, okay, now that mumbo jumbo's over, we'll get a break from that, right? It's like, no, we're moving on to another fight. This captain is fighting another Quincy, and guess what? The same shit's happening. It's just like, aha, my attack is based on imagination. As long as I can imagine me destroying you, there's no way you can beat me. It's like, aha. It's like, well, actually, I'm actually a crazy son of a bitch, so you can't actually imagine anything that my crazy ass couldn't beat. So it's like, oh, okay. Kenpachi wins because he's a psychopath. Great. It's like... And this is the summary version, okay? Imagine reading the chapters of this. I'm sorry. I went on a tangent. It's just so, like, because this is such an anime thing, and that's fine, but, like, Kubo really loves to do it. He goes in deep on the details, and it's really cool. Like, he puts a lot of thought into this, okay? Like, he puts a lot, like... Sorry, just get some more light in here. He puts a lot of, lore and thought into the powers of his characters and how they match their souls and how they work in combat. It's very cool. But it's just it's just constant. It's like every fight, and there's no breaks. There's no like in between of like a wholesome moment with characters. It's just fight, 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 fight. And you have like so many characters. You have all these people. You have all these different Shinigami fighting, all these different Quincy's, and it's all doing the same thing. And it's just like, guys, and again, Kubo's been doing this since the beginning of the manga, but in chapter 560 something, I already lost track, in the Quincy War, because there's so many characters and everyone's fighting because it's a war, it's like constant and constant and constant. It's like, can I just like be like Orihime and just have some donuts or something? Let's see. Rika says, I mean, like, all the comics are old, right? So the start of the comics are antiques by now. There's, like, on issue a zillion, lol. Oh, but it's not like, I mean, I don't know this because I never, like, looked into the Teen Titans comics, but, like, aren't there different stories? Because the thing with Western comics, it's not like manga where it's, like One Piece, it's, like, on chapter a zillion because it's a consistent story that goes on, like it's a straight narrative. But like with Teen Titans, you could probably, like, you don't have to go to the first story. You could probably pick certain like adventures kind of thing. It's you can it's not impossible if you want to get into it. Bookworm's just laughing, and Aura says, oh gee, no, I read a lot of it in high school and have tendency to dip back into it. The movie MJ explaining anime tropes in 15 seconds. I love this. That's a lot of tropes. Yeah, like, when do the characters gosh darn rest? Well, but guys, I'm talking specifically about Bleach. I don't think you understand how Kubo does this. Like, there's just something different about it, you know? Like, your fear doesn't work on me because I'm technically a corpse. It's like, well, you're a walking corpse. What the heck? And then the fear ended up working because, like, he uses, like, fear through the eyes or something, and she couldn't escape the eyes, and then, you know. It was just... I'm just laughing at it because it's like... It's so goofy, but it's interesting goofy. It's well written. I'm not saying this is like a criticism. Well, I guess it could be looked at as criticism, but it's just it's a personal preference. I like slow moments. I'm a slow burn kind of person. So I'm sorry about that for people who are reading Silver Fangs. Okay, slow burns. But like, if I was writing the story, or if this story was written more from my taste, before we jump on to like every person who's fighting in the war, I would like to see some of the quiet moments. So like, after we see the craziness about, you know, fear versus ice, I would have liked to pause before going to the next Shinigami and Quincy fight, and maybe seen like how the people are handling, like, helping the Shinigami, like, in Soul Society, like helping them heal. What are they talking about, or, you know, I mean, I guess we can't ask what Ichigo's up to because, you know, he's on his way and he's like the main character, so it's supposed to be like a grand, like, got there at the nick of time kind of thing. Like, I know that that's what they're leading up to, but, you know, how about Urahara or like, I don't know. I would just like to see more. That's all. Okay, so now we're gonna fill in the flats of Aurora's tail, which is blue and pink. So I'm gonna do the main color blue to start. Oh, also, real quick, let me just put the background in, like the sand color. So, let me just get this. Let me just bucket fill that. Okay, just so I can see the colors and everything properly. But I want to be able to see the sketch, so let me just move that. There we go. My little tangent. I'm just thinking about it because it's so true, man. Like, who goes goofy like that? Also, like, it's cool. I'm gonna spoil, by the way. Like, I've been talking about Bleach and, like, you know, listen to with your own warnings if you don't want to be spoiled. Okay, Bleach is old by now. I feel like people should be caught up already anyway. What's it called? Freaking the scene the scene made me blush so hard because of like the implications of it. Like the fight with Kenpachi and Unohana, when it was revealed that they were like technically, like, well, it's not revealed, it's like implied that they were like in love with each other, and so Unohana had to train Kenpachi, and like to train him they had to like fight to the death, and while they're fighting it looked like they were doing it. And I don't mean it was drawn like they were doing it, but like what they were saying, it was they were so into it because they're crazy, because like they're I think, yeah, like because Unohana was like the first Kenpachi or something. They're like from like this psycho crazy like fighters. So like they like fighting is like everything to them. It makes them so happy. It gets them off. And so like they were fighting to the death, and they're like the strongest like one of the strongest beings that they know and stuff, and they were fighting. And I was just like, as I'm reading this, like the things they were saying and like how much pleasure they were getting out of it, I was like I was turning red. I'm like it's like this is kind of inappropriate. I had to ask my fiance. I was like, hey, like am I watching these two like doing it right now? Like is it what's going on here? And he laughed. He was just like, in a weird way. Pretty much. He's like, in a weird way. They kind of are. And I was just like, what? That's so weird. It was so weird. Like one would cut the other one. They'd be like, oh yeah, you know, like do it again kind of thing. Just like, what the freak is... I was like, what am I reading? This is so weird. Rika says, other than MJ, we knows hers with everyone else's favorite manga. Or says this is why I love Orihime. She's more refreshing in my opinion. Orihime is freaking... I am so stingy and so picky when it comes to female characters because I find that people just don't write them very well. That's just me. Totally my opinion. Don't come for me. I'm just saying that I'm very picky with that, and I think Kubo did a fantastic, fantastic job in Orihime. She's lovable in every single way. She's not annoying. She's strong and not unrealistically strong for her character. Like, just everything about Orihime is just, is perfect. And she's hilarious. She's so funny. Like, the things that she does, the faces, the expressions, and, like, she is so sweet. And I don't know how it ends. I don't know how it ends. I want her to end up with Ichigo, but the amount of shippers for Ichigo and Rukia, it's insane. So I don't know if that's because they're, you know, canon or anything. But, so don't tell me that part. Don't spoil that for me. But Orihime is just, she's the perfect little waifu. She's best girl. Or says, what about the eye candy of Bleach? Okay, do not ask me about the eye candy in Bleach. Or it says, OMG! That's the weirdest anime description I've ever heard. Yeah, man. It was so weird. That was a weird scene to see. But, like, again, like, that's what makes Kubo so interesting as a creator, because he, like, he wrote that uncomfortable scene with these uncomfortable weirdo characters, but he did it in a way that was still, like, I was able to read it. It was just, like, it was kind of subtle, you know? But it was subtle, but it was clear enough that you're just kind of like, what's going on, you know? You're just kind of like, oh, gee. You know, where you just need a fan. Like, my goodness, it's getting warm in here kind of thing. But yeah. Super weird. But yeah, speaking of eye candy, that reminds me of another scene actually that I was reading when Ichigo was training with the Fullbringers. There was there's a character who can like she basically shrunk him and put him in like a toy box and where he can train in. And she was a mood because she disliked Ichigo for being good looking, and she was really hard on him, and it was really funny. And I liked it because in so many, and you see this in so many manga, like when you have like an attractive male lead or an attractive male character in general, for some reason he has that magical effect on all the girls, you know, where every female character that runs across him gets all flustered and like, you know, like can't think straight. And that's cool for that, like that's fine for like certain scenes and certain scenarios, but it's really cool to see when they react differently. And this character I liked how she responded because she didn't like that she was attracted to him, so she would like be rude about it, and it wasn't in a flirty way. It wasn't be like, whatever, fine Ichigo. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna pretend I hate you when I actually really want you to like make out with me. Like it wasn't like that. Like she actually hated him. It was really well written. Like the way he wrote it gave it like this vibe where it's just like she would kill him and she wouldn't have a second thought about it because he was cute and she didn't like it. She's like, nah, I don't like that you're attractive. I'm gonna kill you. And it was really cool. It was really interesting. I liked that character a lot. Not just for that, of course. Like I liked her power and everything, but I just liked her approach and her attitude. That was cool. I think you broke Oracle. I broke her? Will the bucket fill work here? Will you allow me, computer? Oh, work there. How about over here? Yay! Because sometimes it doesn't let me. Oh, I missed a dorsal. And of course I have to go slowly up and down so that the leg doesn't mess it up. Also, do you guys like, or it says, is it weird that Aizen is attractive? Gosh darn it, Ichigo and Ukiura. Ukiura? What? I was following up until Ukiura. Ukiura is really cool. I think he's one of the coolest looking villains, but attractive. Or you're a strange one. Not that I should be talking. You know who my favorite is? Urahara Kisuke. Yeah. Yeah, I'm weird. Bucket hat guy. The genius that is just never around, except when he is. Do with that what you will. Yeah, no, Aizen's fine as freaking heck, man. I mean, later when he puts the hair back and stuff and he reveals his power level and you're just like, oh, so you're not just some nerdy captain, you're actually like a hot villain? Sheesh, what do we do? Let me just add a new layer and decide what I'm doing next before I talk some more. So, or the transition had me. Yeah, I know. When I saw it in the manga, I was just like, what? And I read it without knowing anything about Bleach, right? So when I was reading it, and like my fiance was like looking over my shoulder, and he'd be like, which part are you in now? Which part are you in now? Because he wants to know my reaction, because I didn't know anything. I went in completely blind. And so when Aizen was killed early on in the first arc of Soul Society, I didn't even I didn't care, because I was just like, it's just like a boring captain character, like clearly, like I was trying to figure out possibilities everywhere else. And then when it was revealed like who he was and what he was doing, I was just like, Pikachu face? I was just like, what? And then, you know, he puts his hair back or whatever, and he's like in his actual like appearance and everything, and it's just like, oh great, the guy's attractive, even better. Wonderful. I miss Gin though. I was really sad to see that Gin had passed away. And stayed passed away. Because Byakuya dies, but he gets to be revived. And I was just like, what the heck? And then, again, my fiance ended up explaining that he wasn't supposed to be revived, but fans complained enough that Kubo had to revive him. And I'm like, nobody complained about Gin though? I demand that we go on strike. This is BS. I mean, Byakuya is really cool, but like, Gin though? I prefer Gin. Or I said that's why I made that joke of Dr. Blend. Oh, and there's the context. That makes sense. But Dr. Blend didn't have a reveal or anything. He's just got his nerdy little glasses. Are you predicting that he's gonna have an Eisen moment? Speaking of manga, though, and some controversy, I'm going to spoil Marmalade Boy Little because I know y'all aren't going to read it because there's no English translation. So, do you guys think it's weird? Like, imagine you're a kid, okay? And you're born at the same time as another kid who happens to be your neighbor. Heck, even weirder, they live with you. Your two parents live in the same house because they're all buddies. They're all friends, so they're all roomies. So you live in a big house, and they both conceive kids. And you grow up with this other kid. You grow up with this... You guys aren't related, obviously. But childhood friends, basically, you grow up. Isn't it weird if those kids start dating when they're... How old are they? When they're like 13, 14? Is that weird? Tell me if that's weird. Is that weird, or do you think that, like, no, it's fine because they're not related? Or do you think it's kind of weird since they grew up with each other? I want to know your opinion before I share mine. Dark Eagle, you damn right it's weird. I want to wait for more though before I say anything. Or it says, it's awkward though. Sounds like destiny? Question mark. I'm just saying. I'll explain again. You've got two couples. Okay, who are all friends. They move in together in a big house. They're just living as a big family instead of separate. Instead of being like neighbors that just visit each other a lot, they're just like, fuck it, let's just all live together. And they both conceive kids around the same time. One couple has a girl, one couple has a guy. And also, why is my camera like not straight? That's so strange. Let me just fix that. There we go. Yeah, so you have a little boy and a little girl, and they grow up together, and then 13, 14 years old comes around and they just start dating. Do you think that's weird? Rika says, I think it's weird. When you are that close and living together and basically 24/7, you start seeing them more as a sibling. Okay. I'm glad y'all said that because I think it's freaking weird. Because that's the plot of this. That's the plot. Okay, so let me give you context. So in the first manga, the one that I really love, the one that's really close to my heart, Marmalade Boy, those two couples that I told you about, their partners were swapped before, okay? So let me explain this. It's confusing. So you got two couples, okay? And they decide to divorce. They're like, you know what? We don't like each other anymore. Or we like each other, but we don't want to be married anymore. And then they swap. So like the wives swap husbands, basically. And they just swap. So now you have two new couples. Before they swapped, they each had kids. So then after they swapped, those kids became siblings. Now keep in mind, they don't live together yet. Okay, I'm making this confusing. Okay, let me try to explain this. So you have couple number one, couple number two. And they both have kids, okay? They're living apart, okay? They're not living together. They're completely nothing. When those kids are about 17, 18 years old, though the parents, which are these two couples, then they divorce and they swap partners. That's weird, but whatever. The kids obviously hate this, rightfully so. And then they decide like, oh, but like, who's our kids gonna live with? Why would we ruin the relationship with their parents? Let's just fuck it. Let's just all live together. And then they all move in together. And these kids, they're 17, 18, they don't know each other. So in Marmalade Boy, that's the original setup. They fall in love and then they end up getting together. Though the two 17-year-olds. So they're step siblings. They're not related. That's not as weird. If anything, the parents are fucking crazy, but like that's not that weird. In this version, though, this is the sequel. This is like 10 years later. The original two 17-year-olds got married. They moved out. They're gone. So we still have the two couples, you know, the ones that swapped. They're still living in that same house. Their kids are gone. They have kids again, which are those two new ones I told you about, who grew up together. And they're freaking dating at 14 years old now. And it's weird because even though they're not related, they have the same brother and sister. The 17-year-olds that moved out and are together are half brother and sister to both these kids, even though they're not related to each other. You know how weird that is? I'm uncomfortable. Like, don't get me wrong. This, like, I read this because the style is freaking adorable. Like, let me just show you how cute this thing is. Like, look how, like, you know, the style is just freaking cute, man. And I love Marmalade Boy. Like, the first one is really cute. And Marmalade Boy is like a 90s manga. So when I found out that this came out like 20 years later, I was just like, oh, that's cute. I want to read it. And I'm still going to finish it to be true to the original. But this one just makes me uncomfortable. It just makes me uncomfortable. And, because they actually grew up together. That's weird to me. They have the same brother and sister. Like, their older brother and sister. The 17-year-olds who grew up and got married are related to both of them. Because they swapped partners. Remember, the parents swapped partners. And then they had kids. So these kids are the half-brother and sister of the older ones. It's weird, man. It's weird. Rika said, no, I read that already. Bookworm says, I think life with Derek and how it wasn't weird to me. But then again, Derek and Casey didn't grow up together. So it might be a little strange, but it's cute. I probably would be like, yeah. Yeah, see, Kayla is talking about Life with Derek, which is a Canadian TV show of a similar situation where, a new joint family came together and their kids all were forced to live together. So, like, there was a lot of chemistry with Casey and Derek, right? But that's different. They didn't grow up together. It's a completely different scenario. And that's why I'm saying, like, Marmalade Boy, for the original series, wasn't that weird because they weren't, you know, they met each other at 17 years old. Like, it was not the same thing. They were born at the same time. They're the same age. They grew up together in the same house with the same set of parents. They spent every single day with each other. Like, I mean, it's fine. They're not related, but it's weird. Y'all have the same brother and sister. You know? Like, I don't know. This shit is getting too weird. Honestly, Dark Eagle, yeah. We can change the subject. I'm just saying that's what the sequel is about, and I don't know how I feel. And it was so misleading because in the beginning it was set up that it seemed like they weren't going to end up together, which I was kind of rooting for because that's weird. I'd be like, no, like they should like go their own separate ways and be best friends, if anything. But then they came right back to each other, and I was like, luckily there's only one more volume. When I'm done this one, there's just one more, and then I'm finally done, and I'll let you know how it ends. Laura says, yeah, I think it's weird, just awkward. No, I don't think it's weird, just awkward, or like the parents shipped them before birth. So Aura's the only one in chat who thinks it's not weird. I don't know. It's a little weird to me. Like, it's okay in a sense where, like, it's not gross. Like, they're not related, so fine, but like, how do you look past the fact that, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, it would have been less weird if instead of moving all into the same house, if they bought, like, two houses right next to each other or something. Though I know that's hard. Like, is that even possible today? Like the chances of you buying, like two houses right next to each other? Or they could have just bought, like, really one big house, like, one property, because they all did these four adults did very well. Like, money was not an issue for them. Maybe they should have just bought, like, one big property and then demolished it and built two smaller houses so that they were more like neighbors. I don't know. Because at the same time, it's like, it's not really the parents' fault that those kids started dating. They didn't, like, tell them to. They just raised them. And then they just kind of came around on their own. It's like, what would you do if you were those parents? Like, first of all, you're already weird for living with another couple for so long and, like, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. That's weird to me. Because, like, if I was in that situation, I would look at that other kid like my son, right? Or my daughter, because the four of them is raising them all together. So it's just like, you're just gonna, like, date now? Okay. I don't know. Something about it just ain't right. Just ain't right. Okay. So I need to make a new folder for my kitties. Because this one is white. I'll fill it. I thought it was like Miki's kid and Mako's kid getting together. No! So, Miki, so, okay. I guess I'll just say this quickly because people watching don't know Marmalade Boy, so they wouldn't understand what I'm saying. So I'll just answer Aura's question quickly. Basically, no. Mako does have a kid, and that is actually the boy that I thought that one of the daughter of the house was going to be into and end up with, but then she ended up going to her, I guess, unofficial brother because they grew up together but they're not related or whatever. No, Miki and you don't have kids, or at least not yet anyway. I don't know, maybe they will in the story still, but the story focuses on their little sister. It focuses on their little sister and their little brother. Their little sister and their little half brother and sister who are not related to each other but related to you and Miki. As weird as that is. I actually wanted her to end up with Mako's son, honestly. That would be a lot better. It would have been a lot healthier too, I think. But whatever. I mean, like, I have a lot of mixed feelings because I guess in a way, like, it's not weird because it kind of makes me think of, like, arranged marriages, you know? Say what you want about arranged marriages, but, like, statistically, like, they actually apparently work out. Like, most of them actually have, like, long-lasting relationships and are quite happy. Isn't that weird? I didn't actually know that. But that's a thing. So if that's a thing, and it's almost like a weird arranged marriage, like, planned from birth, kind of like a prince and a princess whose destiny was kind of set. It's like, okay, like, I guess it's fine. But then at the same time, like, I just have so many questions. Like, if I knew these kids in person, I'd just be like, okay, but, like, are you sure, though? Like, you're just kind of, like, it could be that risk that you're just going with what's familiar to you, and you could have maybe some insecurity issues. You might have some problems you need to work out that's actually preventing you from going out and, you know, finding somebody. You're also, like, so young. Like, did you even talk to other boys in your life, girl? Like, you know, like, I don't know. Rika's like, this is so confusing. Rika, the main character's name is Rika. Just gonna throw that at you just to make you feel weird. Dark Eagle, you go and have a good time. No rush on getting back, okay? Ricky says I'm messed up, but I'm not that messed up. Oh gosh. It's funny though. It's funny in a weird way. And honestly, when you ignore the fact that they grew up together, the moments are very, very wholesome and sweet. Like, it's still like a cute read. It's just like that one like plot info is just kind of like, I don't know. Maybe it's the writer trying to stay true to like the original format, you know, because in the original, like, you know, the two 17-year-olds ended up together, and that was like the point of the story. So maybe it's like kind of like a, here's another way it could have happened, and it's just like, you know, it would be more interesting if it didn't happen again. But whatever. It's just me. Also, how long have I been streaming now? Oh, it's almost 2 hours. It's like I have an internal clock for this stuff. Okay, let me just check something real quick. See, coloring these flats would take me way, way less than 2 hours. Because of lag, and honestly, not gonna lie, I went on tangents a few times, so I'll take the blame this time. Can't blame the computer for everything. We're still not done yet. I always start to feel tired after like 2 hours. That's like my social battery. That's like how much my body can take talking. It's an introvert thing. Even the music ended. Okay, let's get some more upbeat music because I'm falling asleep here. Just wait for the ads to pass. Okay, we're doing 2 ads. There we go. Okay. I'm almost done at least. And then I'll make one more layer to cover all the final details. Oh hey, I just noticed I never finished inking my necklace there. No one said anything. You guys.
Here we are, a million stars floating over our heads. Beating hearts, falling apart, staying up to forget. Baby, we'll fall.
Here we go.
Dancing down, and paradise is found. So bright, we're shaking up the ground. 'Cause there ain't no stopping us.
Yes, I'm giving her
So there ain't no stopping us.
this necklace where my baby's ashes are inside. There we go. And then she's got a silver zipper. I also forgot the ink. Let me do that real quick.
We could be flying
Oh, you can't even see it on screen right now. There we go.
safe and sound, no one around. Say the word and we'll go. Baby, we'll fall. We all go dancing down, and paradise is found. We're shaking up the ground, 'cause there ain't no stopping us. So there ain't no stopping us.
There we go. And then a ring, which changes all the time because I'm always changing mine. I really love rings. And I love changing them to match my outfits. I'm a nerd like that. And this one kind of looks like that. Okay, and then earrings, which I'm not wearing right now, so because my favorite earrings are still in boxes from my move, but I'll get around to getting them. Okay, spots are done on one. Can we finish? Let's see. Oh, maybe not. She's got all those intricate like crystals and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's do the main stuff. So her top is purple. There we go. I totally over-colored there. There we go. Okay. So that's that. And then this part is like a golden brown rope thing. Okey-dokey. I missed some spots of her hair. Gonna fix that real quick. No! No advertisements. There we go. Okay, now let's do her first kitty, which have lots and lots of patterns. One's darker than the other one. So we're gonna make the dark one the one at the bottom here. The room is really starting to smell like Vanilla Noel. Vanilla Bean Noel. I'm gonna just turn the candle off. Actually, look, you like my little plate here? Isn't it cute? I've had it for ages. I finally got out of the box, and I love it. And right inside I have 2 Luna nail sheddings that I picked up from vacuuming, and a whisker. She'd always drop her whiskers. And I keep them over here next to her urn. Just thought I'd share that. Let me quickly check chat. Or it says that 14 is too young. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't think 14 is young. I started dating my fiance when I was 14. Like, it's too young for certain things, if you know what I'm getting at. But, you know, like, I had my first crush when I was, like, 11. Was I 11? What was I? No, I was younger. I was... Okay, but those are, like, small crushes. I guess my first real crush, I was probably, like, 12. Like, 14, you're already a teenager. Like, you're gonna be interested in those things. You're gonna wanna, you know... You're gonna want attention and companionship and all that stuff. Like, that's not... I don't think that's too young. Yeah. Not that I'm a perfect example or anything, but yeah, I started dating my fiance when I was 14, and he wasn't my first boyfriend either. I was 13. And I thought I was late because all of my friends had already dated more than me, like, for like a few years already. Like, I remember like being 10 and my friends like dating each other, and I was just like I thought I was like innocent and shy and like socially awkward. So, yeah, kids grow fast, man. I'm not sure what Sarah's gonna want the tails the tail colors of her babies to be. I'm gonna have to ask her. I'm just going with a placeholder for now.
I've been told you can't forget where I've been once I have left. I wanna hear what that meant. There's nothing inside.
Yeah, when I'm done the stream, I'm going to go make a tea, have a treat, take a break, and then I'm gonna work on SILVERPORT. Okay, next cat. This one has a lot more patterns. It's like brown and black. Yeah. I don't even know which one she uses as the mid-tone. That's how like full of patterns this little guy is. So you know what? I'm gonna go with this brown. This patch of fur right here is the mid-tone, so I can see it against the sun.
So I've come to the conclusion, just a rotten piece of fruit. So I'll end up dying slowly, rotting away.
Yay, Becca Phil. She's being nice to me today. There you go. So we've got base there. Yeah, and then the rest of the detail is going to take some time. So what the heck is this ad music? Oh, jeez. Anyway. Riga says, is it normal for cats to lose their whiskers? Yes, it is. It just should be rare. Luna was kind of an idiot, so it happened with her more. One time, I don't know what happened. She must have got her head stuck somewhere, but because if you didn't know, whiskers are actually there to gauge space, to tell, so that, because they have nerve endings. So like when a cat like sticks its head in a hole or something, and their whiskers touch the sides, they can feel it. So it's almost like a warning that like, it's their way to be able to tell if they can fit into small spaces so that they don't get stuck, you know? It's basically saying like, hey, don't put your head here, idiot, because it's too small and your head will get stuck. So that's what it is. It's like to gauge space so that they can sneak and hide and fit into these small crevices, and their whiskers will let them know if they'll fit or not. So that's what that is. And one time Luna came to me and she had a big patch of red right here and she was bleeding. And just looked like some of her fur was missing. Like looked like a bald spot there too. Because I wiped her down, and when the blood was gone, it was just pink, and it was just gone. I was like, what happened? And we later found that little patch of fur attached to a whisker. It pulled out, like her whisker got pulled out from somewhere, and we found it under the table. So that means, poor thing, she must have slept funny, and her whisker maybe got stuck in like a fiber on the carpet, or just something must have gotten stuck, and she freaked out because, you know, she could feel it or whatever. So she probably like she pulled herself free, and it ripped her fur out. Yeah, she was so silly. It's not usually so gory like that. Whiskers can fall out. It's just it's just not a common thing. It's not supposed to. You know, it's like, I'm trying to think of like an example with like a human, something that, I don't know. Can't really think of an example, but it's not supposed to happen that much. If it happens a lot, then there's a problem. But she did lose a decent amount of whiskers, and I was stupid. I never kept them, and that was the last one. So when I found it, she had cancer already, so I knew it was coming, so I kept it. I'll show you. You can't really see it, but, and you can tell it's a whiskered rather than a piece of fur because it's significantly thick. It feels like a piece of plastic, especially around the root, like where it would be attached to her. It feels like a piece of plastic. It's really strong, really stiff and tough. Or it says, I mean, not to fall in love, but to decide, like, this is the guy for life. And I mean, just experience it again. I didn't date until 21. Wow, 21's late. I don't know. I could be biased, but I think that the best, like, here's the thing. There's pros and cons to being with somebody younger and being someone older. Like, there's pros to both and there's cons to both. But if I had to weigh on which preferred, I would go with the younger route, because not only are you, because when you're younger, you're still a lot more pure and innocent, right? Like, you're not, like, you just look at life in such a more upbeat way. And I feel like when you're falling in love with somebody, when you're young and stuff, and you stay with that person and you grow up with that person, you kind of mold each other to suit each other. And I just feel like, because when you're older, you have so much history with past relationships. You have your jobs. You have sometimes already kids from past relationships. There's so much baggage. And obviously it's not impossible. People do it all the time. But I feel like finding a good, like, flow and to get on the same page and to really find, like, a nice, healthy, selfless, loving relationship is a lot more work. Because you have to make more sacrifices because you already established your life. Like, oh, I'm already living here. Or I already have this job. Or it's like, oh, I'm insecure and you've had, like, 3 other serious relationships. Like, how do I know that you're going to commit to me? Like, there's just, like, a whole thing. And you have to go through a lot more layers of obstacles and trials to, like, get to that, that feeling that you see in the movies. Like, the happily ever after stage in a relationship. I just feel like it's so much harder to get there. Whereas when you're younger and you grow up together, you're kind of molding that. You're already building history. You're making plans. You're what's the best way to say this? You're kind of like, you're rooting for each other as, like, oh, I'm gonna go to this school, I'm gonna get this job. It's like, oh, that's so great, I'll go to this, let's meet up here. Like, there's just, I just feel like there's a wholesomeness to it that makes it easier, like, when you're older, because it's also like trust. And I don't know, like I said, when I was talking about manga, it all makes sense up here, but when it comes out of here, I sound like an idiot. I'm doing my best. That's just my personal opinion and my personal experience as well. I was with the same person my whole life. Like I said, I did have, like, relationships before my fiance, but they were not serious relationships. I was 13. My fiance was my first everything. And I think that if it wasn't like that, I feel like we would still be happy together. Like, don't get me wrong, but, like, we might not have been the same people, because we grew together. We had such an influence on each other growing up, and with the decisions and the worldview, just everything that makes a person's personality and interest and all that stuff, we had a part in each other's development because we met as young as we did, you know? And I think that's a really nice thing. If we met today, we wouldn't be the same people. I don't know if we'd be compatible. And if we were, it would be a lot harder, you know? I don't know how many relationships I would have had before meeting my fiance. I am a sensitive being, and I am soft and squishy on the inside. And I feel like if I had my heart broken multiple times, or even just once before meeting him, I would have trust issues. I already have trust issues. And like, I didn't have that horrible experience that I know so many people having of a broken heart. You know, I didn't experience that with a guy because the person I fell in love with, I ended up being engaged to. So, you know, that's why, like, I feel like the pros of getting into finding the one younger, I feel like has a better long-term shot. Though don't get me wrong, I know people who like fall in love young and stuff and it doesn't work out, and that's sad too. I'm not saying this is a one-size-fits-all. I'm just saying it's easier. I feel like it's easier because when you're an adult, like I said, you have to go through all those layers, and I just feel like it's more work when you're older. Not that it can't be done, I just feel like it's more work because that's something you have to worry about. You know, I remember being in school and meeting my one of my best friends ever. I met her in that program, and we were sitting, and she was 5 years older than me, and I remember her telling me, and she was single, and I remember telling me, she was just like, girl, you are so lucky, because I was already engaged then. We were engaged for like ever. No, wait, no, I wasn't engaged then, but like it felt like it because we were together for so long, you know, like since we were kids, so like we may as well have been. And I remember her telling me how lucky I was to already have that, not have to worry about it, because she was already like she not only was focusing on career and like life and everything, but she had to focus on the dating scene and finding people and getting, like, dating is hard work. Like, I haven't been in the dating scene since I was 14 years old, but I see other people do it. I witness it and I see it, and it's work and it's hard and it's a whole full-time job. Relationships are a full-time job, let alone, especially in the beginning when you're still getting to know the person, you have to look out for things, and you have to, it's just such a mission. So she told me how lucky I was that that's something I didn't have to worry about, and it's so true. It's so true. So anyways, how did I get into this tangent? Oh yeah, no, or I disagree. I don't think 14 is too young. I don't. I just think that, you know, the 14-year-olds, when they're dating, as young as they are, be careful, proceed with caution, get to know the person, and like, don't rush into things also, because like, the thing with teenagers dating is that's when hormones are all over the place. Teenagers, man, like, yeah, you just have to be careful. That's it. Rika says, "Oh, I didn't know that about whiskers. That's so cool." Yeah, it's so cute too, because it's basically like a safety net for cats because they're so ridiculous, because they're always sticking their heads in places. So like, God gave them whiskers to be like, hey, here's a little cheat to help you like not fuck around because you guys are idiots. Or it says, yours is a really sweet love story, how you were such a big part of each other's lives. Yeah, that's nice of you to say, but there's also truth to that. Like, my story with my fiance is such a long one, and it's really funny because at the time you don't notice these things, like you don't think of it this way, and you don't, like, certain things that I look back and find funny now I didn't find funny then, but like telling the story, thanks Katie for the hydrate, telling the story and thinking about it, Like, when I tell it to people, they're just like, oh, wow, that's so cute. It's like something out of a movie or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, but, you know, when you're 14 or 13, because, you know, especially during the chase, you know, because I rejected him so many times before agreeing to date him. During the chase and stuff, like, at the time, it was, I did not look at it that way. It's just funny. We have quite the story. Yeah, dating later in life sucks. Yeah. Kayla, I get you. I understand. Like my friend that I mentioned who said I was lucky. She has had some really rough luck. She's 30. How old is she right now? I think she's 33, and she just broke up with her fiance. Like, literally a few years ago, I was so happy for her because she said that how lucky I was and stuff, and she was having a hard time finding somebody. And then she found somebody, and they dated for a few years. They were going to get married. They were planning their wedding, and they broke up. I'm just like, and it's things like that just make me even more thankful for what I have. Like, that sucks. Like, I don't even know what to say. Imagine having that hard of a time and then finally finding it to realize that, like, I haven't found it, and then you have to start again. Like, man. That's why I'm saying teenager is not young. I say get it out of the way as a teenager. Because then when you're an adult having to do all this stuff, it's even harder. Because it's like you're living. Like, you have bills to pay. You have a job. Like, you have things to do. At least when you're a teenager, you're like, you know, your biggest problem is putting in an assignment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that sucks. Not like I'm gonna give up finding my soulmate. Yes, of course. Like I said, it's not a one size fits all, right? Lots of people find it later in life, and that's totally okay. That's totally cool. Or it says, oh, that poor girl, my heart goes out to her. Yeah. Yeah, let me try to get the music back. Yeah, it's really heartbreaking. Especially since I've known her for so many years, and that was one of the first conversations we had. Because she met my fiance one time when he came to pick me up. Because, yeah, he used to pick me up sometimes from school, which was really sweet. It's really cute, too, because when we were 14, we used to take the bus everywhere. And the moment, it was funny, because I actually waited a year, or was it 2? I don't remember. But I actually waited to get my driver's license, because I never really went out much, as you know, hermit. I spent my whole life, like, drawing pictures. But my fiance, the moment he was old enough to get his driver's license, he was like... And when he was, like, driving and stuff, and, like, he borrowed his parents' car, and he would drive around, like, he felt like such hot shit. He would offer to drive me everywhere all the time, and it was so sweet. So he used to pick me up all the time. Oh, that's my speaker running out of battery. It's dead. Why am I saying that? Why did I bring up the car? Oh yeah, because my friend, she met him one day when he picked me up and stuff, and she asked me how long we've been together or whatever, so I told her, like, a little bit of the story. At the time, we were together for, like, 5 or 6 years, and, she's just like, oh my gosh, so young, you're so lucky, and she started, like, telling me all these things, and, like, I already appreciated him very much, but, like, when you hear that from somebody else, it makes you just realize it made me realize how thankful I was, how lucky. It's like, oh, that's true, like, I'm really glad I got that out of the way, because, can you imagine, like, I don't like complaining because I chose the life that I have, but the work that I do, like art with comics, on top of my day job and stuff, like, it's incredibly demanding and very, very time consuming. I don't even know if I could have the time to date right now. And I don't think I would have had it for a while now. I would have literally had to sacrifice, like, making a comic for a while to, like, find companionship, you know? And, like, that sucks. So I'm really glad that that's something I don't have to think about. Yeah. But for those people finding it later, hey, it's okay. I just know that you have my sympathy, and I understand, and it's hard. Just keep plowing through and find your make sure you find your self-worth and your comfiness within yourself before looking for anybody else, because the last thing you want to do is put all of that on somebody else. You know, that would be awful. Especially older. I know that's a problem when you have older. Like I said, as a teenager, that's not so much an issue. When you're older, yeah. Anyways, that's enough talking. I think that's gonna be it. Everything else I'm going to do off screen. I want a break, so yeah, this has been fun. Let me quickly check if there's anyone streaming that we can raid. How about Dory Moth? Let's go raid her. Dory Moth.
This has been
Oops.
fun.
I just opened my own stream. Okay. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. The next stream, don't ask. I don't know when it's going to happen, okay? Whenever I have the patience to deal with the lag. I'll keep you updated on stuff. And follow my Ko-fi. Not just so you can give me money, you guys. Like, it's more than a tipping system. I post monthly newsletters there where I, like, talk about everything that I've been up to. I'll also, like, post just pretty much like my process and stuff like that, and just it's just a good place to be. So definitely go follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Kayla, for finishing our goal, by the way. Shout out to you. And follow my Instagram and blah blah. You know how that goes, right? Who did I say was gonna raid again? I already forgot. What's your name? Dory Moth. Got it. Okay, so raid. Dory. Okay, it should be working. We'll find out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Seriously. Mwah. Until next time. Bye.
셋, 별,